Hey, greetings class. I'm Professor Dana Schmeling. This is hands-on project 3 for INT1108. I'm going to do an Excel project. First thing I'm going to do is open Excel, so I simply search Excel, click enter. There's different methods or ways you can do it, depending on which operating system you're using. The object here is just to open up a blank worksheet. What we're going to do is we're going to file, we're going to save as. We pick save as so we know where we're going to save it to. I'm going to save it to my desktop. I'm going to name it Daniel Schmeling Excel project. We want to make sure that we put our name in the project so we know what we're saving and where it's saving to. So I'm going ahead and save that. The next step is we're going to go ahead and highlight A1, or actually we're going to change this. So we're going to right click on the sheet 1 down here. We're going to rename it. We're going to name it to new truck. Click enter. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to A1, and in A1 we need to add price. A2 is loan in months. 3 is interest, and I think that's annual. We're going to skip A4. A5 is monthly payments. Total payments and interest. We're going to fix our typos here. I'm just going to double click this so it widens that out and cleans it up a little bit. And then I'm going to click save. I'll be saving it often so we don't lose our project. Or if our computer crashes or anything, we want to keep it saved. Now we're going to go to B1, which B1, right? We're going to do a price of $35,000. 2 is going to be 24 months. 3 is going to be at 8%. And for the next step, we're going to highlight B1 through 3. We're going to ensure the Home tab is clicked up here. This is the tab, the Home tab. We're going to go over to Format. We're going to go to Auto Fit With, and we're going to click Auto Fit. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and save it. Okay, we're going to start step 4, Auto Fit, which is what we did there. We're going to do step 5. In cell B5, we're going to add a formula. So you can either type it in by going equals, and once you put an equal sign in that, it becomes a formula. I've gone ahead and typed this formula up, so I'm just going to copy it. I'm just going to copy that formula and paste it. So I just right click and paste. All right, I'll click enter to make sure that my formula does work. The reason why I'm seeing those numbers is because it's not wide enough, so I'm just going to widen it a little bit. And I should have 158296, which is correct. We're going to be working in B6. We need to enter a formula to calculate the total paid over the life of the loan. So the monthly payments over the payment terms, so how long it's paid. So in this cell, what we're going to do is equals, and we're going to simply go to B5, right? I just clicked on that. I'm going to click back in here to do multiplied by. I need to multiply it by B2. Hit enter. And our total should be $37,990.92. Cell B7, we're going to enter a formula to calculate the total interest paid over the life of the loan. Total payments minus the original loan. We're supposed to use cell references, so what that means is instead of putting the numbers, we're actually going to use the cells. We should have done that in the last one as well, right? So instead of putting, so for this one, our formula equals B6 minus B1. We don't put 37,990 minus 35,000, although that would work. If we ever change the formula, we ever change these cells, then we're not going to get the right answer. So we just simply click on the cell. So B1, or correction, B6 minus B1. Hit enter. The number that comes up should be $2,990.92. We haven't saved our project in a while. We'll go ahead and save it. You can either save it by pressing that disk, or file save as, or file save. I just click the disk. Now it wants us to highlight A5 through A7 and B5 through B7. I'm not sure if that's in the directions, but if it's not, make sure you highlight both of those cells all at the same time. So A567, B567. It wants us to make sure on the Home tab, it wants us to click on the font group. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on this part of, this is the font group right here. We're going to click on that border, and it wants us to do the outside border. So I went ahead and clicked that. I'm going to click Save. That was all of step 4. We're going to go on to step 5. We right click here on the sheet. We're going to add a new sheet. So depending on what you have here, it'll be a different options. It could be new. I'm just going to do an insert of a new sheet. I'm going to right click on that. I'm going to rename it. We're going to name it Trucks. So there's a step 31 that basically talks about the order of this sheet, right? So sometimes it may appear on this side or the other side. So you simply have to move your sheet so that trucks is in front of new trucks. Now we're going to go ahead and fill out our trucks spreadsheet. So we're going to enter top corn sales, A1. A4 is Old Bay. A5 is truffle. A6 is sea salt and Carmel. We're going to do B2, which is truck location. B3, which is Farragut Square. B4, 1800. Oops, you see that I missed that cell right there, right? So let's simply cut and paste that. So B2, B3, B4 is 1800. B5 is 2100. We're going to go ahead and save our chart. What we're going to do is we're going to highlight all our cells. We're going to make sure the Home tab is clicked. We're going to go to Format. We're going to go to Auto Fit Column Width. Once that did that, we're going to go ahead and in B6, we're going to enter 3300. And now we're going to save our chart. Give it a quick look. Looks like I spelled corn wrong, so we're going to go ahead and correct that. We're going to go ahead and go to C3. We're going to enter George Washington. C4 900, C5 600, C6 1300. Save that there. We're going to make sure that we just continue to keep auto fitting. Okay. Now we're going to go to D3, which is Georgetown. D4 800, D5 1000. And so we're just going to keep inputting all this stuff. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. I'll input that and we'll come back. We have all the data entered now. I went ahead and typed it all in. So we got E row, the D row, the C row, the B row, A row. And I verified that all my data is correct because it's important for that data to be correct to get correct numbers, correct chart positions. So that is all done. I've auto fit it, right? I've highlighted it all. I went to ensure I was on the Home tab, Format, and Auto Fit, and then I've done a save. So that's all complete. So we're going to go ahead and move on to step 6. So 6A just wants us to format the cells again. So we just highlight them all, Auto Fit. 6B is asking us to change the font size of this to 18. So you simply click on it. There's different methods. You could right click, go to Format Cells. I'm just going to drop this down to 18. And then 6C wants us to change this color to aquafill. So we go ahead and click on that. I'm just going to use the drop down here, and I'm going to go to this portion there. That's the light blue is actually the same as the aquafill. 6D is basically just changing the font color to white. So this is the fill, this is the font, it's got an A. So I'm just going to click on it and go to white. I'm going to click Save. Okay, so for 6E, we're basically going to merge the cells. So we're going to highlight A1 through E1. There's different ways to do it. You can right click and format cells and select merge cells here, or you can go to the home tab, merge and center, right, and merge cells, right. So it doesn't matter how you do that. There's different methods. I just clicked merge and center now. We can merge cells or merge and center or right click and merge. Next, we're going to take our B2. We're going to change the font size to 14. We're going to bold that just by clicking the bold. Just going to merge B232. So I'm just going to simply highlight the cells. I'm going to go to format cells. I'm going to do this one differently. I'm going to merge cells. And we will need to center it now, right? So I click the center. We're going to work with B4 through E6. We're going to highlight them all. We can either, with the home tab inserted, go to the number tab, or we can right click and go to format cells. We're going to go to the number tab. We're going to go to accounting. We're going to make sure that the decimal place says 0. And click OK. Okay, that was all of step 6. We're going to start with 7. 7, we're just going to type the word total here. In these cells, we're going to go ahead and get the sums in there. There's different ways of doing that. You could just simply type equal sum, and then what we're going to do is B4 colon B6. It's one way of doing it. You can click on it and go up here to auto sum. You can click on sum and you can type in the numbers, right? It did that for me. Or we could simply, once it's done once, we could, sometimes that's hard to do, is grab that handle across and it's going to do it for me, right? It's giving me those formulas based on what I did here and what I did here. So that's the different ways you can do that. Okay, next here we need to underline our 7 totals here, our 7 row. So I'm simply going to highlight across. There's a U up here. I want double underline, so I click down, I click double underline, and that's done. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to start on the next step. We're going to highlight all this data A3 through E6. Don't include the totals. You're going to click on the Insert tab. There's a diagonal here for chart. You're going to click on chart to see all the charts. It wants us to do a clustered column 2D bar. That's the clustered column chart. I'm going to click OK. Do a little chart manipulation here. So what we're going to do next is we're going to right click on our chart. We're going to go to select data. It says switch row column. We're going to go ahead and switch that. Click OK. We're just going to modify our chart title. We want our chart title to say July, July sales by popcorn type. We're just going to click outside there, and that should show the title now. We're going to click in the chart, not in here. We're going to click in the chart. We're going to click on the plus. We're going to click on data labels. We want them to be inside end. Let me just verify that. Yep, inside end. So click OK. Folks, it was outside end that we're looking for, so I went ahead and corrected that. It is outside end. Now what we're going to do is just going to move the chart. We're just going to move it over here. It says A0, meaning to, the line here. Pretty much complete with this area for now. We're going to right click on trucks. We're going to insert. It's going to be a new worksheet. We're going to name it Tyson Store. So I need to right click and rename to Tyson's Store. We want this to be in the middle of trucks and new trucks. I've got some data to type, so I'm just going to get started. I will pause it to finish it, but just to get you started, we're going date, Old Bay, so it's going A1, B1. So I'm going to go ahead and enter some data, and then I'll join back in the video. Folks, at the end of step 10, you should have a sheet that looks like this, right? These are all the items that should be entered, and then you'll start direction 11, and that's the last set of directions. But I typed all this information in by hand. There wasn't any type of formula or anything. I just typed across, I typed down. So when you get to this step, step 10, it's just a lot of typing. Just make sure that you've typed the data correctly and in the right spot. So the first step in 11 is just to highlight everything, right? A1 through I8, and we're going to just auto fit it. So that was the first part of the step. So the next step is to highlight B2 through E2. You're going to click on the Formulas tab, you're going to click on Sum, and you're going to click on Sum. And the answer that should be there is 249. We haven't saved our worksheet in a while, so we're going to save it. We're going to go ahead and click here. And we're going to drag down. So it should have all the auto sums for all those just by clicking and drag down. Now when you're clicking, you're looking for that black cross, not the big white cross, okay? Just make sure you do that and then you drag down. For the next step, what we're going to do is we're going to do a formula that's going to take this amount and multiply it by this amount to give you a daily total. So we go in here. Well, let's get rid of that formula that's in there now. And we're going to do a formula. Here's that formula. So we're just going to paste it in there. E2 times this box here. Hit enter, and we should get 1494. So we're going to take that. We're going to drag it down and see if we get the rest of them all filled out. Right, so that's correct. For the last parts of these, we're going to do the average, the minimum, and the maximum in these columns of this row. So what we do is simply click in the box that we're going to work with. We're going to go to auto sum. We want the average here, and then we could either type it in or we can highlight it in. I'm going to type it in. So we're going to take the average of F2 through F8. So there's our average for that one. Next, we're going to do the minimum. So we're the same thing. We're going to click here. That formula tab is clicked. We go to minimum, and we're going to do the same one, F2 through F8. You see I have that extra line in there. I can simply go up here and just get rid of that. Right? And then this is the max, right? So we're going to click it. We're going to auto sum with the formula tab, max, right? And again, I'm going to click in here, F2 to F8. Okay, we're going to save our project. Folks, just a quick review on the project. We've got three sheets in this order: trucks, Tyson store, and new trucks. On our new truck, it's just simply about 2 columns of 7 rows with one that's has an outer highlight or an outer border. Our Tyson one is a lot of data, right? We have formulas in column E, column F, and column I. And then our trucks has a chart and some data in there. We've saved our project as our first name, last name Excel project. Our final step is to save it. We're going to browse. We're going to go to our desktop. I've already saved it once, so save. It's going to ask me to rewrite it. Yes. And then simply when we upload our project into Excel, into Moodle, we just need to remember where our project is, right? So our project's on our desktop. So when we go to learn.deltaed and we turn in our project, right? When we go to our hands-on project, we're able to turn it in by attaching it. And there's usually a box down low that you can drag that into. And folks, that's it. I hope you do great on your project. Thanks. Bye.